So just think of all the people who are here, who've sung with the choir or singing with the choir now, who are the soloists that have been with the choir, the musicians that have been with the choir, our standards who have been here a lot, and those who have come here rarely to perform. They have all come in to some degree because they trust Scott to be able to pull it off. So this is a tribute to you that they've showed up, so many have showed up today. And imagine your own funeral. Imagine your loved ones making preparations for your funeral and referring to you as the late so-and-so. Or in our case, the former music director, Scott. When Scott was here, we used to do this, but now it's different. That's what will happen. Over time, you become a memory. And the reason you meditate on your own death is so that you get to that point in your life when you are becoming a memory for someone else. And you're pleased with what they remember. Generally, it takes a lifetime of effort, of showing up for others, of opening your heart, of being more than about yourself, about being a team player, about being a lover, about being a guide to those in times of trouble. It's about making more room for others in your life and making their life better. So if you ever wondered what is the process for becoming happy, according to Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama, that's how you do it. You make the world a better place, you make somebody else happy, you put somebody else other than yourself as the focus of your attention. And that is part of what has been a support for all the people in the choir, but also for many people who are not in the choir. And that, Scott, you will be remembered for as well. It's not just the music, but it's the heart that matters. And the movement toward each other and the kindness that we can express. So reflect on what people would say about you. Are you happy with what they might say? Might you need to change now to change what will be said then? I didn't say this at the first service, but I remembered I had wanted to say this. Scott, you have done an enormous amount of growing since I've known you. It's one of those things that has really been a beautiful thing to be a part of, to see the change where, quite frankly, more people are included in your circle of love. And that will be a goal that I think each of us could incorporate. To stop being so clear about who's friend and who's foe. I talk about this, it seems like all the time now, but that is the crux of what we're trying to do in this time of turmoil in the world, is to change the number of people that are in our tribe. And now there's some countervailing forces against that, but that's what we're up against. It's not just in them, it's in us. We need to change this. Abraham Lincoln said, when I know a man, I don't like this man, I must know him better. When we have fulfilled that, knowing him better, we will like more people. Conclude with resolve, I shall always live my life with purpose. I shall always live my life with purpose. Now, I came into the forest with a bit of an attitude, but by the time I left, I was in a great space. This idea of giving rather than grinding, giving rather than even receiving, is the trick to happiness. So even if you don't have anything to actually do or give to someone at that moment, you can send them a blessing. That you could walk through life, you could actually drive your car through Raleigh, and you could be blessing everybody as you go. I remember I used to, in the end, that's my blessing too. Because the very thing that you give is the thing that becomes who you are. It is, you become that nature. So if you're giving people grief all the time, you become unhappy. But if you're giving love and blessings all the time, then you can only experience ultimately that. Right. But this is one of the gifts you brought to us, was talented people who give their talent, knowing it will have a great support of a professional. And we're grateful for that. Now, when you go to those Unitarians, try to bring a little God to them, okay? Because those heathens, I'm not sure they've ever...
There's no words in the English language, and possibly in any other language, that can really express the depth of my gratitude for being at Unity of the Triangle. The choir. It's been a privilege and an honor, and we've learned so much from each other. My vision was to present all kinds of music to all kinds of people, and I certainly did all kinds of music, and I certainly met all kinds of people. And I just can't be more honored and more grateful. Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you, Scott. And we just want you to know that we love you and we want the very, very best for you. And we present you with this small thing.
Thank you.
I'm going to affirm that each of these petals represents a person from our congregation saying thank you. And they also represent every meditation, every song you've played, every concert you've offered. And life is saying thank you and move forward to continue doing God's work and being the light that you are. Okay? And we're going to do the prayer of protection together. The light of God
surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well.